Russian President Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin and his entourage arrived in Hanoi on June 19, starting a state visit to Vietnam from June 19 to 20 at the invitation of the General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Nguyễn Phú Trọng.
The Russian leader is accompanied by Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, Deputy Prime Minister and head of the Russian subcommittee of the Vietnam-Russia Intergovernmental Committee on Economic Trade and Science Technology Cooperation, Dmitry Chernyshchenko, and Russian Ambassador to Vietnam, Gennady Berdetko, among others. Prominent among those present at the airport to welcome the Russian guests was Secretary of the Party's Central Committee and head of its External Relations Commission, Lê Hoài Trung, member of the committee and Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà, who is also head of the Vietnamese subcommittee of the Vietnam-Russia Intergovernmental Committee on Economic Trade and Science Technology Cooperation, and Vietnamese Ambassador to Russia, Đặng Minh Khôi. President Putin has visited Vietnam 4 times. The visit this time holds an extremely important significance, further deepening the Vietnam-Russia comprehensive strategic partnership in all fields, especially in the context that the two countries are striving to realize the joint statement on the comprehensive strategic partnership vision to 2030.
The latest Vietnam Energy Outlook report, Pathway to Net Zero, said that Vietnam's goal of achieving net zero emissions by 2050 is not only technically feasible, but also the most cost-optimized scenario.
The Vietnam Energy Outlook report, launched on Wednesday, pointed out that to achieve its net zero commitments, Vietnam's dioxide carbon emissions need to peak in 2030. The country's transition to green energy also needs to be carried out at a faster pace than before. Danish Ambassador to Vietnam Nikolai Priest told the report's launch ceremony in Hanoi that the release of the Vietnam Outlook report marks a pivotal moment in Vietnam-Denmark energy partnership, a crucial part of the Vietnam-Denmark Green Strategic Partnership. It provides the two countries with a realistic pathway to achieve the net zero target.
Unseen species found in Phong Nha Kẻ Bàng National Park. Aviation industry contributes to the recovery of tourism in Vietnam, Australia. A strange species has just been discovered by a cave exploration team of the Jungle Boss in Hùng Cave within a strictly protected area of the Phong Nha Kẻ Bàng National Park in the central province of Quảng Bình.
According to Lê Lưu Dũng, director of Jungle Boss, images of the newly found creature were sent to professional cave exploration groups, but no one has seen it before. It might be a new species in the core areas of the national park and requires more in-depth research, he said. According to the team, the species was found scattered on the surface of stalactites in Hùng Cave, approximately 300 meters from the cave entrance. Observing with the naked eyes, this creature has an opaque white main body with many branches extending from the base, resembling a starfish. The branches spread out in multiple directions and are about a few centimeters long. Above is a tentacle-like strand about a handbreadth in height, which is wide and can stretch.
In recent years, tourism cooperation between Vietnam and Australia is increasingly developing with the active participation of relevant parties in the tourism industry. The aviation industry plays an important role in connecting the two countries. This is given during the Vietnam-Australia Tourism Promotion Conference taking place in Australia.
In the first 5 months of 2024, there were 213,000 Australian tourists visiting Vietnam, an increase of 35% over the same period last year, bringing Australia to the 7th largest tourist source in the Vietnamese market. In the opposite direction, in 2023, there were more than 166,000 visitors from Vietnam to Australia, an increase of 35% compared to 2019. Vietnam is the only tourist market in Southeast Asia that has increased visitors returning to Australia after the pandemic. Since signing a memorandum of understanding last year to implement the Air Services Agreement, the number of flights between Australia and Vietnam has doubled and new direct routes have opened. With summer nearing its peak and domestic airfare skyrocketing, Vietnamese travelers are increasingly looking abroad or opting for alternative transportation for their vacations, according to travel agents. The rising cost of domestic flights have fueled a surge in outbound tours, with travel companies reporting a significant increase in bookings, particularly among family groups and individual travelers. Tour packages priced between 8 to 15 million Vietnamese dong, roughly $330 and $625 per person, seem to be a sweet spot for many vacationers seeking value for money.